Oh, to the yeah. What is good, my peeps? We are en route to yet another big ol' back day. And what's that term? Big back? I mean, man, with how many meals I had today, I would say that it is a bit of a big back kind of day. We are 4 meals deep, which is usually not the case. I'm usually having anywhere from like 1 to 3 meals on average, but today schedule is just a bit different. We have substitute teaching going on right now, so we are coming from the school that I was just at. Pretty chill day. I mean, not much to say other than it's freaking subbing, but on to the topic at hand. We are here to do a big old back day, and I want to say that I have no idea what to expect other than a lot of rows and a lot of pull downs and a lot of pull ups, because I was doing just my body weight kind of circuit on a playground last week on Monday, and I gotta say, I just repped out as many pull-ups as I possibly could do, and my lats were freaking sore. I mean, probably the sorest they've been in a while. And so, that being said, there is a place for more calisthenic work, and that's kind of I mean, it just goes to show you, being a jack of all trades, you know, doing all different kinds of sports, and just seeing which ones will help you with certain goals the most. I mean, that's where, you know, trying new things, it really comes into play, because all I did was, as Arnold would say, I shocked the muscle, or, you know, I just kind of confused it. Like I did something that I don't normally do, just repped out as many pull-ups as possible. Bam, there you go. We have ourselves some extremely sore lats. So, that being said, I think I'm going to try doing that with every one of my back workouts. I know it changes all the time, but I also want to make sure that I'm changing it just the right amount to where I'm not getting super sore, and at the same time, we're getting sore enough to where we're shocking the muscle to grow. So, that being said, we are on a little bit of a weird diet right now. So, pretty normal in terms of the protein, but when it comes to the carbs, that is a whole other freaking story. Man, I don't think I've ever had this in a meal, but my most recent meal, my 4th meal, was ground beef, oatmeal, and cream of rice, all mixed into one. And I feel freaking jazzed right now. I also just had some pre-workout, so we're kind of coming off that. But that being said, there is definitely something to be said about mixing your carbs and seeing what that can do for a pump. So we'll have to see in the workout, but I'm feeling pretty freaking good right now. I mean, I am soaring, as they would say. But that being said, I want to see how it contributes to this, but contributes to the workout, I should say. But other than the weird carbs, everything else is pretty much back on track. I mean, we have, man, I was just hanging out with my partner, and she was like, all right, it was just your birthday, what do you want in terms of food? And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but Panda Express, pretty freaking good. I mean, except for, their orange chicken tastes good, but I got to double check. There's one ingredient in orange chicken that is pretty toxic at the end of the day. But that being said, the taste alone, amazing. I mean, I've been finissimo. I don't know if that's how you say that in Italian, but that being said, I thoroughly enjoy Panda Express. But I was also saying to her that I don't care what the refeed meal is. A refeed is a refeed. It's supposed to refuel you when you're feeling, just a little bit depleted. And I was last week. I mean, I was just feeling a little flat. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was just I was right at that sweet spot that I needed to be in terms of gaining the muscle, losing the fat. But it was more of like a psychological break, because at the end of the day, like, my body thrives on a ton of food, mainly because, if you really had to classify me as something, I'm definitely a hard gainer. It takes a lot of food and sleep for me to train, or for me to grow. And so that's just the reality of it. I mean, at the end of the day, I think I prefer to have a hard gaining physique, because when I really fill out and I really start to put some meat on my frame, it's going to show. I mean, you're not going to have a tough time cutting down. The only thing that I really need to look out for is making sure I don't lose muscle in the process, because I've had preps where I cut way too quickly, which I don't recommend, because I mean, the whole point of bodybuilding is to show off, a really muscular, symmetrical, conditioned physique, and to bring forth your best package, the best package that your genetics can possibly offer. And so when you cut too quickly, you're just not going to have as much meat on your frame to show off. So that's where you got to ride the fine line of having the mass, but also the conditioning. So for me, conditioning's never been an issue, except, I take that back just a little bit. Conditioning's never been an issue in men's physique for me. For classic physique, that's a whole other ball game. Because, I mean, some guys, they can look extremely shredded up top, upper body wise, and that's more me. But their legs, or I should say my legs, it takes a lot more conditioning to get those down to those, to that nice, feathery, shredded look. And so, that being said, my legs tend to hold on to a lot more fat than my upper body, because when I cut, I mean, super easy for me to get all the fat off of my upper body. Now, for my lower body, that's a whole other ball game. It takes way more conditioning to get that off. But there are other people who are the complete opposite. I mean, there are some people where they have shredded legs year round, even at like 15-20% body fat. I mean, you could see, or I'm guessing on the percentages, but as long as they have like some sort of abs, like visible abs that you can see, they could have the most shredded legs year round. I mean, not the most shredded, but very lean legs. But their upper body, it might take just a little more oomph to get that going. Now, there's some genetic freaks who they're just shredded all the way around. I mean, upper body, lower body. I mean, so it really varies pretty drastically. But man, that's a whole other story. Now, for me, my legs, they definitely could use some more conditioning. So I will say we're putting on as much mass as possible, but the next prep is going to be much different, because we got to get down to a whole new level of conditioning, and at the end of the day, a whole new level of suffering. But that's kind of my whole goal with my company, Awareness, because it's essentially to take, that realm of suffering that you get from a bodybuilding prep, those last few weeks where you're really getting down to, I mean every prep is a little different, but towards the end of your prep, when you're getting to that extremely low body fat, and you literally, you'll just be cold all the time, you'll be hungry all the time, you'll probably be irritable all the time. So my whole goal with Awareness is to help not alleviate the suffering, but just be aware of the suffering and aware of the fact that you're pushing yourself to this absolute limit. And you're basically, it's almost like just being aware of the fact that you're putting yourself through this process because you want to see yourself at your absolute best on stage, physique-wise. Now, just being aware of that can bring you a little bit of joy. At the end of the day, just knowing the fact that you're putting forth your best effort, and yeah, it freaking hurts, like in every way, for a long period of time, but the more awareness you have of the fact that you're intentionally putting yourself through that suffering, that's a great feeling. Just knowing that, and knowing that you have complete control over what you're doing, and you can withstand that level of suffering. So just commending yourself for that level of strength and being aware of how far you can take it. Talk about being grateful for the process. So that being said, that's all I got for now. We'll definitely have a great back day with that in mind. And speaking of suffering, this is going to be a fun back day. I can already feel it. So I'll see you all in there. We're not at our final set like we usually are, but we are in the midst of the second to last set. And these crazy eights definitely make they make it a whole lot more difficult. These are very humbling. So that being said, 8 quarter reps, 8 half reps, 8 full reps. And I gotta say, it's a little bit easier to do the quarter reps on the stretch portion, and it also probably will benefit me a little more. Not exactly 100% sure, but I do know that you got to get at least a decent stretch on pretty much any of these exercises, and then the contraction is always second half of it. But I don't know, something about putting it in a more stretched position seems to work, because if you think about it, if you're out and about all day and you're using your back as stability, you're constantly contracting it. So with this, you kind of want to put it on the opposite side of things, in a constantly stretched position. But that's just a theory of mine. I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate or not. So either way though, let's go friggin' nuts. Yeah, we could probably do a little heavier. That set was pretty gnarly, but we'll try to get a little bit heavier this time. Man, one thing that I notice Sam Sulik does quite well is after every set, he makes sure to rest and almost pause immediately after the set, just to kind of let everything properly reset instead of bouncing around to the next thing. So that's one thing, you know, trying to be just a little more aware of. But that being said, let's go do some hip pulls. Single arm dumbbell row, and then we have a little bit of T-bar row, another set of crazy eights. So those are fun because, you know, different angle, different point of leverage, but it's mainly meant to just obliterate the mid back. So I'm you know, the two main things I need to bring up: width and density. So I mean, that's pretty much all there is to the back, but that's we just need more of it. So that being said, we're bringing up width with these single arm dumbbell rows for the most part. I mean, it's a little bit blended, but the other ones, that's going to be mainly density. So let's freaking get into it. Let's go do some T-bar rows. Come on. Acute rest brought to you by Sam Sulik. Alright, we have reached the end of probably one of my favorite back days ever done. And solely because there was a ton of volume, not too many sets, and at the same time, everything just felt like it was clicking. And I think part of that could be my right lower back is healing quite a bit, just from, staying away from the movements that could exacerbate it further. So that being said, let's see if it looks as good as it feels. All right, that wraps up. Whew. Great back day. I'll let how it looks speak for itself. But either way, we gotta still get our cardio in. It's a little bit late right now. Get a shakedown, and then final meal. We are freaking set. So tomorrow we're probably gonna have to do an early morning arm day because pretty freaking busy tomorrow. But nevertheless, morning workouts can definitely have their benefits too. So I'll see y'all there.